Never use a Java tutorial to build a machine in Bedrock, and vice versa. If you're an avid survival Minecraft player like I am, then you are constantly looking for more ways to save time, be more productive, and improve your efficiency in this game. And if you're like me, you're always looking for Bedrock-compatible solutions in a Java-saturated market. My friend Ike recently put together a list of his top 5 simple machines, and I offered to review his builds for Bedrock users. We both assumed that 4 out of his 5 would be fine to use in Bedrock Edition. We were wrong. Not a single machine was 100% compatible. Let's begin with the automatic bamboo farm. This is a critical machine, as wood is one of the most common ingredients in recipes. Items like chests and ladders, they don't care which type of wood you use, so fast-growing bamboo is a perfect choice for automation. The machine on the right is Ike's version. He had a clever solution of using a note block as the power source, but this is not compatible in Bedrock. So once I swapped it out with simple redstone, the machine worked fine. This design is based on the fact that a mud block is slightly smaller than a full block, which allows items to pass through directly into a hopper. And because it's mud, you can also plant bamboo and sugarcane on it, unlike half slabs or trapdoors, which we usually put on hoppers. The concept is that when the bamboo grows too tall, the observer can sense the change and trigger the piston. Now, I recommend placing a half slab over top of this whole machine so the bamboo does not fly out. You can also use this design to passively collect sugarcane, but the mud does not act as the required water source, so you have to add a water source behind the mud block for the sugarcane. And here's where I learned another difference between our platforms. Of all things, mangrove roots leak in Bedrock, but they don't in Java. This is so random, but this has a simple fix. You just put a box around the water source, and then you can begin growing sugarcane. Now, let's grow the sugarcane quickly with some bone meal so we can see the piston in action. And if you're a Java player watching this, please note, the bone meal feature doesn't work in your platform. Now that we have a renewable source for wood, it's time to move on to the next most important ingredient in Minecraft, and that is iron. I seriously wonder if every new Bedrock player has tried to make an iron farm using 3 villagers and a zombie. I know I did. So here is the top half of Ike's compact iron farm. So I already knew this wouldn't make iron golems, but today I learned it could be used as a cat or string farm. So the ratio is 1 cat for 4 claimed beds, up to a max of 5 cats for 20 claimed beds. Let's go ahead and move on to a compact iron farm for Bedrock. This is the simplest and most compact Bedrock iron farm that I could come up with. It's not maxed out for 2 golems. You have to add 10 more villagers if you want 2. I generally combine my trading hall with my iron farm, but this design is for iron only. Oh, and I guess string. So personally, I would bury this design in the ground after confirming that there were no caves within 7 blocks below the villager beds. I built this one above ground, so you can see what's going on. The yellow bed in the middle is the first bed I placed down, and I made sure it was linked to a villager before I did anything else. The pillow of that bed determines the spawning radius of the entire farm. Then I added the remaining 19 beds and separated the 10 villagers from their beds with a floor. I trapped each villager in front of their workstation, otherwise they can block each other from working and the farm is not as efficient. Above the villagers, I put the water trap for the golems. A golem will flow into a block of lava that is held up by some signs, and the iron is collected in the hoppers below. The campfires are for the cats, and the cats will drop string. If you do not wish to collect string from cats, you need to collect and tame 5 cats nearby to stop them from spawning in the farm. A golem will spawn 6 blocks above or below the bed layer. It's possible to hide this entire farm in a solid chunk, so long as the ground level is higher than the 6-block minimum and there's no caves underneath. Iron farms in Bedrock have lots of rules. I just gave you a quick overview, but you can check the description of my video for other resources. So that covers the 2 most common crafting ingredients. Let's move on to food. A Minecraft movie popularized lava chicken. Even though chicken has a low saturation rating and it takes 20 minutes for a baby chicken to grow up to an adult. But if you like to eat chicken, or you need feathers, then you should make an automatic chicken cooker. Ike's design is very clever. His redstone setup collects eggs and throws them against a wall to hatch chicks. That part's compatible. The strange thing is that in Java, his chicks would land on the side of the fence against the cauldron. But in Bedrock, the chicks kept landing on the opposite side. I tried a lot of different vertical items, but none worked. My solution was to suspend a block of lava over a slab on top of the hopper. Now, this is seen in a lot of different bedrock farms, and the idea here is that when the chicken grows up to a full adult, its hitbox is in the lava, and so the thing cooks. A different issue is that the lava cooked all of my chicks along with the grown chicken, leaving me one piece of chicken for all of my waiting. Placing a block of powdered snow would be a solution, but then it's not lava chicken. As I said, the redstone is compatible, and here's the layout that you can use for the machine. The only issue is that it causes the trap door to flip up and down, and if that annoys you, replace this side with a solid block. Anyway, let's move on to a different kind of cooking. Every player in survival eventually learns how to add hoppers to a furnace. You can place a hopper to the side or the back for fuel. The one on the top is for uncooked items, and the one below is for cooked items. But at some point, you may wish to build a super smelter. The hopper system is similar, but now you're using a minecart to deliver your items instead of placing them by hand. I set up Ike's design, and the first puzzle for me to solve was why the barrel would not load into my minecart. If I placed the items in the cart directly, the redstone started working fine, and the barrel would start loading one item at a time into the cart. Now this only worked for 17 items, and then the machine stopped. If I reloaded the minecart by hand, I could get it going again. But this time it stopped after auto-loading 6 items out of the barrel. So I came up with a simple bedrock solution for loading the minecart. Place 3 barrels above the rail with the goods inside. And if you place a lever on the block adjacent to the rail, you can turn the machine on and off. So my design may not be the most efficient, but you're going to get your stuff cooked. Ike's final machine is an Armadillo XP farm. The concept here is that an armadillo will hide in its shell if a zombie is nearby, and when it's in its shell, it takes less damage when attacked. So if you splash a potion of infestation on it, it will spawn silverfish, which you can kill and get the XP. Now, I was fairly certain the only problem was going to be the armor stand. What I did not expect was that the campfire would kill the armadillo. Y'all, many armadillos were lost in this research. For the bedrock version, I had to make a couple changes. The big change was using a cactus with a trapdoor on top for the armadillo stand. The killing area was easy enough. You could just use a wall to block in the silverfish. Now, I do recommend breaking the cactus when you're not using this farm. I don't know how much damage the armadillo can take, but it's way easier to replace a cactus than to drag another armadillo over from the savannah. Ike set up an automatic potion throwing machine in his, using a dispenser on top of a dropper. It looks like this under his farm. Now, this did not work for me because of the sand and the cactus, so I just moved it. I placed a dispenser to the side and ran the redstone along the outside of the farm. Okay, let's see this thing in action. That's a crazy amount of silverfish. All that's left to do is to kill the silverfish and collect the XP. I put down this magma block as an extra kill method. You can also use your hand, and so long as you get in one punch, you will get the XP. Oh no! Well, this is a creative problem only. In survival, it's very hard to accidentally break glass like this. What a mess! Now that you've seen how even the simplest feature can dictate whether or not a farm will work in your platform, be sure to verify the platform used by your tutorial creator. And I implore all tutorial creators to clearly state which version you're using, so no one has to waste their time gathering the wrong resources. Shout out to Ike for working with me on this video, and I think he might go cross-check my designs back into Java. What do you think? Should we work together to make universal designs?